What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Mathews back at it again with another hometown take. And today I'm talking about the Atlanta Falcons, and I promised it to you in my last video that I just dropped talking about Grady Jarrett getting extended and Mike Davis getting released and some other Falcons news. I told you it was coming, and here it is. The full 2022 draft recap for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going through each and every pick pretty in depth. And we're going to talk about how I like the pick, if I don't like the pick, how I'm feeling about the Falcons draft overall. So we're going to get into it right after I tell you about the business we got to handle, you feel me? Because we always got to handle some business. Make sure you like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, check out the link down below. To buy me a coffee to help fuel this channel, help fuel the Atlanta Falcons to a great rest of the offseason. It's been pretty solid so far, the draft, and you know what they've done, so it's cool. It's straight so far, and we're going to get into it. But buy me a coffee if you can to help fuel this channel. Also, make sure you turn on your notification bells to make sure you get my content as soon as I drop it. You dig? Be the first to comment and like and all that good stuff. Anywho, let's go ahead and get right into the video, guys. The full 2022 Atlanta Falcons draft recap. Of course, we start with our first round pick, number 8 overall, the wide receiver out of USC, Drake London. Now, there's mixed emotions about Drake. Obviously, when we first drafted Drake London, I was like, Drake? In my best Soulja Boy voice. Because it just seemed like, Jermaine Johnson was right there, Karlaftis was there, and I really wanted a pass rusher. After I had time to sleep on it and, think about it and digest what the Falcons did, drafting a wide receiver 8th overall, I'm okay with it. And especially when the rest of the draft played out, picking Desmond Ridder with the 74th overall pick, which is a pick I really, really like, and we'll get into here a little bit later. And, it makes a little more sense. And obviously they went edge rusher with Arnold Ibuki with the 2nd round pick, which again we'll get into. And they also got Deangelo Malone out of Western Kentucky. So, they did address pass rusher. Would I still have rather them, got Jermaine Johnson or Karlaftis? Maybe we'll see. Hindsight's always 20/20, and we'll see how these guys plays out. But that gets me to my point of Drake London could be the best wide receiver to come out of this draft. He's a big body. Now, his speed isn't great, but he does have good burst when he gets the ball in his hand. He doesn't have great breakaway speed without the ball. But when he has the ball in his hands, oh boy, he's skedaddling out of there. He's getting north. You feel me? So he's really good on like wide receiver screens or maybe even handoffs or something like that. So he's versatile in his game as well. So to get into some stats and a little bit of background, he did play with Onyeka Okongwu, one of our favorite Atlanta Hawks. He did play with him freshman year on the USC basketball team. Then the basketball team was like, hey man, you got a chance to get drafted. You don't need to be playing basketball for real. So then he stuck with football. But Drake London's stats from last year, only played in 8 games, missed the last 4 games due to an ankle injury, which is all good now. It doesn't seem like he has any limitations. He told us personally, Arthur Smith has told us he's good to go. So ankle injury is no more for Drake London, but he did miss the last 4 games. So in 8 games, he had 88 receptions, 1,084 yards, 12.3. He averaged 12.3 yards per catch. Very good. So over a first down per catch. Need that energy with 7 touchdowns. Like I said, maybe the best wide receiver in the draft. And again, we're not sure about his, speed breaking away. But, we'll see. He may be a little coaching up in a little speed drills, run with that parachute on your back, Drake. You can get a little faster. So there you go. He can make spectacular catches, and he has very good body control, which allows him to sink when he breaks and get out his routes. And he has enough bend to win leverage against corners, I should say. So he got that. He got a nice bend and break, get low, get leverage, and get gone on them corners. He is a willing blocker. Now, his block technique could use some work, but that can get coached up. I'm not too worried about that. The good thing about Drake London is he has the intangibles, but the things he need to work on can be a little coached up. The only thing that, might worry about a little bit that could be somewhat intangible, but you also can get fixed is speed. So There you go. But he is a willing blocker. His blocking technique does need some polishing, and he needs to put a little more. His effort in blocking can go in and out. Now it's the one thing that really has a red flag to me, because I need your blocking effort at least to always be there. The technique can get fixed, but your blocking effort doesn't need to run hot and cold, and that's the story here maybe for Drake London sometimes. I need that effort always there. One thing about wide receivers and blocking, at least give me the effort. At least always give me the effort, and we can coach you up and make sure the technique is actually right. That's the coach's job. But the effort, that's your job specifically. He's obviously huge. He's got good size and length, 6'3", 219 pounds, 6'5", almost a 6'6" wingspan. So him and Kyle Pitts, two big bodies to throw to for either Marcus Mariota or, future, hopefully, Desmond Ridder. Anyways, he's a good overall route runner. He understands tempo to running his routes, using tempo to run his routes and to keep cornerbacks thrown off. And he stays tight at the top of his routes, which is especially impressive for a big wide receiver like himself. And when we say staying tight at the top of the routes, it means, he doesn't veer off. He stays in a straight line. He makes, nice straight lines, nice cuts. He isn't all over the place and all shaky and wavy with his cuts and with his routes. So that is good. And with a good tempo, that basically means, sometimes he'll, speed up his break, or, he'll slow down, speed up. He just has good tempo on how he runs his routes. And there's always full speed, or always, he switches it up, which keeps the cornerback off balance. He has very good hands and a good catching radius. He doesn't rely on his body to make the catches, so, he doesn't get alligator arms or in traffic, or he doesn't, use his body and his pads to make the catches. He uses those hands. He forms that nice little triangle and uses his hands to make the catches, which is very good and helps him make spectacular catches, which he can do. And we know when he need to catch a ball in traffic, maybe in a slot or in the middle of something like that, he ain't scared. He'll take the hit. He's a nice little big body. You feel me? He ain't scared. So good hands, excellent hands, and he will extend his arms to make catches in traffic. And again, not super shifty, not super speedy, but he still gets good yak because he'll be playing around. One thing about Calvin Ridley that we didn't like, sometimes he run backwards, forward, side to side, all that stuff, and that'll mess up his yak. Drake London ain't messing up his yak. When he catches the ball, he's going straight. He's going north. He's skedaddling up out of there. You feel me? So he gets, and he's big, so small corners will bounce off him. So he still gets good yard after the catch while not being super shifty or speedy. And I mentioned it earlier, has good burst with the ball in his hand, so screens he'll be good on, and throws in the backfield he's very good because he just focuses on going north and not shifting around too much. And one thing I also like about a good wide receiver, they know when to they know how to read a zone, settle in those soft spots in a zone, and just sit down and wait for the quarterback to find them. Drake London does that. And he's also very quarterback friendly, so when a play gets broken or busted, he knows how to go back to his quarterback and open up for his quarterback, which is a very good trait in wide receivers, and Drake London has that, so I like that. Like I said, negatives, his size, he doesn't have the greatest lateral quickness, so he's not super shifty, and his blocking technique can be inconsistent, and, better effort blocking. But hopefully Arthur Smith can coach him up on that. All right, so that's Drake London for you. Moving on to our second round pick, 38th overall, Arnold Ibuki, aka the pass rush doctor. You better be already giving yourself a nickname. So Arnold is 6'2", 250. In 12 games with Penn State, he transferred from Temple to Penn State in his final college season. He had 62 total tackles in 12 games with 18 tackles for loss, 6'9", almost 7'10" wingspan, 9.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Positive. He's probably the most flexible edge rusher in this entire draft class. And when we say flexibility, that's getting around, bending your body, swerving around them offensive tackles. He's probably the best at that in this class. He consistently gets to the edge because of that flexibility, because he can turn back to the quarterback, get around the edge, get a little bit behind in the pocket, and turn back around and get to the quarterback. And he also has the rare ability, I like that, rare ability to turn back up into the pocket and accelerate if the quarterback slides up. So basically, he never gives up on the play. Whether he gets around and gets behind the quarterback, he's going to run back up and go get him and get that sack, or he's just going to get to the edge and get to him one way or another. He has very good hands. His hand usage and pass rushing variety, meaning his pass rush moves, are good, and it's definitely a plus for him. And he has an effective dip and rip. I'm sure you guys have seen the old dip and rip. So he dips up under the tackle, kind of try to get up under the armpit, and then he rips up in, uses that arm, that off arm, not the off arm, but the close up arm to rip up under and get the tackle off of him. And he has a decent long arm as well to help unlock that flexibility he has around the edge. So all good stuff here. He's got different pass rush moves, which we definitely need because we've seen, a certain Vic Beasley Jr. who only had one move, and that was speed to try and get around the edge. That didn't really work out for him. He had one good season, that was it. So definitely need a pass rusher with multiple moves, and Arnold Ibuki has that. He also flashes the ability. Now, you're gonna hear me say flashes a lot of the time. Flashes mean they need to do it more consistently, but they can do it and have shown to do it at times, but they don't do it consistently enough. So they need to be more consistent about it. But he does flash the ability to work down the middle of the offensive tackle and then knife back inside. So he kind of starts just going bull rushing straight at the offensive tackle, and then he works his way back inside and using his quickness. He also uses his quickness to understand how to make his frame skinnier when trying to get past an offensive tackle. So he kind of talls up a little bit and then skirts around the offensive tackle. He's also light on his feet so he can break inside and then cut back outside to keep offensive tackles on their toes. So he hit him a little in and out, so he hit him with a and then gets back, goes inside and then cuts back outside. So again, showing off a little bit of the repertoire when it comes to his pass rush moves. He's not overly strong, so kind of going into some of the negatives, but when he does get a few steps to build up his speed, he can pop up and get into the offensive tackle's chest and work them back to the QB. So power rush isn't gonna be his signature move, but it's definitely in his arsenal, which is good because Big Beasley didn't have that. But what I mean is basically, so right away, coming right out of 3-point stand, if he tries to hit you, he's not gonna be overly strong or overpowering against any offensive tackles. But if he does have a couple of steps, while the offensive tackle is backing back, if he does have a few steps to get to them and, kind of build up his speed, and then he'll pop him right in the chest, work him back, and push him back into the opposing quarterback. So that is good. Has the speed and quickness to fly right through the gap as a run defender on occasion, which is good. We need you to shoot the gap and get some tackles for loss. And he's a good chase down defender from the backside of run plays. Also good, means he's hustling. He's not giving up on the play. So once the play is in front of him, or once the play gets past him, the running back gets past him, he's still working to try and make that tackle. So I like it. Some of the negatives for Arnold Ibuki: his first step isn't overly quick. A lot of these elite pass rushers have quick first steps. That's not him. So, that is one of the things he'll have to work on, hopefully can develop. His strength as a pass rusher runs hot and cold. Like I said, he's not overly strong, so his strength goes in and out as a pass rusher. And so he doesn't always have the strength to shut off and work back to the QB. But he needs to win reps before offensive tackles can really get to him and get the jump on him, which he usually does. So the good thing is, he usually needs to win the edge before offensive tackles get to him, and he usually does that. And like I said, Arnold Ibuki also transferred from Temple to Penn State his final season, so he did it against the big boys. You feel me? Penn State played some big games this year, and he had a very good season. So that is Arnold Ibuki. On to our other second round pick, 58th overall, Troy Anderson, the linebacker, a very versatile linebacker. We'll get into it at Montana State. We went with a small school dude, and that's okay. A lot of dudes that come out of small schools, that'll be all right. So, like I said, his second round pick, 58th overall, 6'3.5". Got to make sure you get that half in there. 243 pounds, run a 4.4240. Very good. He's got good speed, and that's one of his strengths. He's got great sideline to sideline speed, and he's, a fairly big dude. So, Deion Jones, he's a small linebacker, got great speed. Troy Anderson, he's still pretty big and still has that great sideline to sideline speed. He also has a great frame. He's tall and long. He has a build that has been filled out quite well on Montana State. He ain't missing no meals. That's basically what they trying to say. He bulked up, ain't missing no meals, got good size on the boy. He's got very good vision and trigger outside the tackles. He kills perimeter runs and screens. So anytime you're trying to run a screen or a little, whatever, a little backfield handoff type thing, against and trying to get to the outside against Troy Anderson, he's shutting that down. He said, I'm on that all the time, 100%. So very good awareness, speed, and trigger to get into outside of the tackles. He also flashes the ability to slip blocks in space with length and quickness, so he can get off blocks fairly well. In this scenario, there is one scenario in the negatives that we'll get to that, he can't really shed blocks once, the offensive lineman or tight end or whoever engages with him, but we'll get into that here in a second. But in space, he can slip blocks with his length and his quickness, and he's a versatile athlete. He used to play quarterback, running back, and safety at Montana State before he fully went linebacker in 2019. So he versatile. You can use him for some trick plays, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a better version of Taysom Hill. No shade, just truth. Negatives. He's below average, change of direction and fluidity. So, if a wide receiver, a tight end tries to make a cut on him, he might get skirted the other way. He might get his ankles broke because he ain't that good at changing directions. He ain't that fluid with them hips. Need to working on loosening up them hips, Troy. He struggles playing downhill and rarely triggers as quickly as he needs to. He misses opportunity for run-throughs. This is where I started to get concerned with Troy Anderson. This isn't one of my favorite picks. Drake Jackson was there. I think some more polished linebackers were there. Troy Anderson just seems like he needs a lot of work, but a lot of this is coaching. So, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. So yeah, he doesn't fire off as quickly as he needs to. Like misses some of the reads and the holes, and he misses opportunity for run-throughs, the gap. So this is the big thing, biggest red flag for me when it comes to Troy Anderson. Poor block deconstruction, shies away from contact, and struggles to play blocks head on. What kind of linebacker shies away from contact? All you do is tackle. You do a little coverage, I know it's not just tackling, but a big part of your job is making tackles. And I know that's not exactly what they mean when they say shy away from contact, but how you gonna shy away from contact when it comes to people trying to block you? If you don't shove them out the way and keep it pushing and get to the quarterback or running back, whoever you gotta get to, shy away from contact? What kind of man? Troy, you better nut up, big dog. Come on now. Can't be shying away from contact. And you better play them blocks out on them, blow them up, keep it pushing. So that's a big red flag there for me. We'll see. And this is dude, he is a second round pick. So we need some production out of you, Troy. Rarely tackles head up, takes awkward angles and dives too often. Again, another red flag. I'm gonna need you to take them right angles. That's coaching, that can be coached up. And also too, tackling can be coached up, but keep your head up. Know what you're tackling. Come on now. Coverage is a work in progress, has the speed, but he needs to get comfortable at the position. Yeah, you just need to open up them hips. So when them tight ends, wide receivers cut on you, you won't be going the other way. But he can get coached up. Like I said, a lot of these things with Troy Anderson, he can get coached up, and these are things that can be fixed with good coaching. And we do have good coaching. Arthur Smith's a good coach, and he'll bring good people in, and the linebackers coach, all that. I think they'll get him right, but still, some of these things are like, oh, really? Like I said earlier, he's versatile. Played quarterback, running back, and safety at Montana State before converting to linebacker full-time in 2019. So he's smart. He know what everybody was doing on that field. So that's good. Some accolades for him. He was 2018 first team Big Sky as a QB. So he was a halfback quarterback. 2019 first team Big Sky as a linebacker, and 2021 Big Sky Defensive Player of the Year. So like I said, there's promise there. But you just got to get coached up. He's real raw. Like I said, the reason I don't like to pick as much, I feel like, Drake Jackson, guys like that, there are more polished guys who can come in right away and be good. But maybe the ceiling is higher for Troy Anderson. So there you go. Stats in 15 games, 147 total tackles, 14 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, a fumble recovery, 2 picks as well. So that is Troy Anderson for you. Moving right along. Where am I at here? There we go. Let's get to my favorite pick of this draft, Desmond Ridder. Quarterback, Desmond Ridder is by far my favorite pick in this draft. 6'3", 211 pounds, ran a 4.49 40. His stats last year for Cincinnati, played in 14 games, 251 attempts. He was 251 out of 387 passing attempts wise with a 64.9 completion percentage for 3,334 yards, 8.6 yards per attempt, that is. 30 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions, good touchdown to interception ratio. 158.7 rating and 110 attempts as a runner for 355 yards, 3.2 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns. So he can do it with his legs, but he doesn't default to that when things get hairy in the pocket, and I like that. Some accolades for Desmond Ridder, got to give him his flowers. In 2020 and 2021, he was the AAC Offensive Player of the Year. That's the American Athletic Conference. And he was first team All-AAC in 2020 and 2021 as well in the 2018 AAC Rookie of the Year. First and foremost, Desmond Ridder has great height for the position at 6'3", very good athlete, consistently gets to the edge and can pull away from defenders when he's scrambling. He's also very good and a valid weapon on design quarterback runs. We know Arthur Smith likes the design quarterback runs back from his time in Tennessee, so I likes that. Desmond Ridder can do that. He's honestly probably a better passer than Ryan Tannehill. No shade, just true. Also, speaking as a passer, he's got good arm strength. He can drive intermediate throws, and not just lob up intermediate throws, but put some mustard on them guys and attack downfield with deep balls as well. So can make all the NFL throws. He's got very good movement in the pocket. He stays balanced and is willing and able to go through his progressions. And he understands concept. He works with his eyes to find his throws. So he got not only the brawn and the legs and the speed, but he got the brain too. He understands offense. I'll get to that in a second. He understands his offensive concepts and playbook, goes through his progression, so doesn't stick on one man and, just force feed it to one dude or just, predetermine, all right, I'm going to go to this guy for sure on this play. No, he goes through his progressions, see what guys come open, and then makes the read and the throw accordingly. So he goes through his progressions, doesn't rely on just one receiver or one route or anything like that, goes through his progressions and does his thing. And like I said, goes through his progressions, shows a deep understanding of the offense, so he's smart. And that's what we need out of a QB, a nice smart QB who can do it all, run it, throw it, everything. He's a competitive and tough player too, which is also what we need. Tough nose, competitive dude, quarterback, fiery dude, not afraid of the big moment, need that. And he's willing to take hits in the pocket or running the football. So when a blocker's coming right down his throat, he's staring down the hole of the shotgun coming right at him. He'll take that bullet, take that hit, still make the throw for the touchdown, first down, whatever the team needs, and he'll run for the first down too and take the hit as well. Tough, competitive football player, Desmond Ridder. Love the pick. Not many negatives either. Just he has a slighter frame, but NFL can fix that. They can bulk him up if they want to. Probably don't want to bulk him up too much, but it'll be okay. He's got early accuracy issues in game because he's trying to be doing too much. He gets a little zooted and booted, a little too turned up, piped up, and, tries to do too much early on in the game. But he has shown improvement in that, and that'll come, that'll fix itself with time, repetition, all that good stuff. But I love the Desmond Ridder pick. Definitely my favorite pick of this draft. Moving right along, Deangelo Malone, the outside linebacker for Western Kentucky. He was our other third round pick, 82 overall. Deangelo Malone from Western Kentucky, 14 games, 94 total tackles, 17 and a half tackles for loss, 8 sacks, 4 forced fumbles. He contributed 5 years at Western Kentucky. He's a 2-star recruit, so he got a chip on the shoulder a little bit too. He's Western Kentucky's all-time sack leader. Hopefully that translates in the NFL. He become our all-time sack leader. Wouldn't be mad at that. 2019 and 2021 Conference USA Defensive Player of the Year, and he was first team All-Conference USA 2019 through 2021. He's got great speed, flies around the backfield and in space. Love it. Need that speed to get back there to the quarterback and make big plays in the backfield. Skinny frame lets his wiggle and fight through tight spaces at times. That's good. He can get through the little holes. He's got good hands, crafty hands, does well to strike first and keep offensive line out of his frame. So when the offensive line try to, grip him, get their hands up on him inside the shoulder pads, he's like, nah, get off me, pushes him off, and then gets to the quarterback. Flashes above average power and extension after engagement, so he can still, even if they get up on him, he can still say, get off me. Now, he doesn't do that as consistently as he needs to, but we can coach that up. Has moments of surprising leg drive considering his size. Now, I thought I wrote down this side away, maybe I didn't. Anywho, he has moments of surprising leg drive considering his size, and he has a good understanding of run concepts and how to attack blocks accordingly. That is good. Definitely need that. So he sees, okay, this run is coming here. Is this type of run play? I need to, I can stay engaged in this block for so long, but I need to attack it like this so I can get to I can get to the running back. It'll be interesting to see, how long they keep him at like an outside linebacker type of position. We know Dean Pease loves to blitz with his linebackers, just love the blitz period. So definitely see him as one of the dude that Dean Pease sends on like a linebacker type of blitz. Maybe when he bulks up enough, they'll just put him at straight up edge rusher. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Like I said, because right now he's too skinny as an NFL edge rusher, needs to add weight, but you can do that in the NFL pretty easily. His anchor is poor. Too often he gets moved off his spot. Again, that's part of weight. He has a below average first step. So in a 3-point stance, his first step isn't very good, but he does better when he's standing up. Now another reason why he'll be a outside linebacker to start. It plays upright a little too much. He's too tall when he comes off the ball and can't regain leverage a lot of that time. And his flexibility is average at best. Well, we got another flexible dude in Arnold Ibuki. Arnold can show him a thing or two about being flexible. So that's Deangelo Malone for you. Quickly, Tyler Aguilera, our 5th round pick, BYU running back, 5'10", 224 pounds. He's thick. 276 games. He had 1,600 yards, 23 touchdowns, 28 receptions, and he had 199 yards receiving with those 28 receptions. Played linebacker during his 2019 season. He's a former walk-on, so he got that walk-on chip on his shoulder. And about being a former linebacker, he can absorb hits and take hits, but he can dish them out too if he needs to, so he ain't afraid of contact, you feel me? I like it. Good size for his position. He has a thick lower body, maybe a reincarnation of Michael Turner here with them trunks, them tree trunks for legs. He's a patient runner with good vision. He knows how to use tempo on his runs to let his blocks develop. So he got a little Le'Veon Bell in him. He see how things develop. He might hide behind the offensive lineman, and then once he see everything develops, he shoots and he gets gone. He skedaddles out of there. Runs with very good balance as well. Plays with a wide base, and he has tight footwork. A tough runner who constantly falls forward. Everybody says this about a running back. You know a good running back when they're always falling forward and not going backward. So that is good that he has that trait. He's a strong player who churns his legs and makes himself a hard tackle for defenders. So he doesn't go down on first contact, basically. Good hands when working out of the backfield, and a willing pass protector who blocks with a good base. I love it. He can catch some passes on the screens and whatnot, and he'll pass protect. Won't blow no blocks. I love it. Some negatives, not overly explosive, but I'm okay with the ground and pound dude. We can have a little thunder and lightning. I don't know who the lightning gonna be, maybe Cordell Patterson, but I'm okay with that. It's all good. His route running experience mostly consists of checkdowns and screens, which is okay. We don't really have running backs go on routes like that in the Arthur Smith offense anyway. And with extended runs, he did have a fumbling problem, so he gonna have to work on that. But moving right along, Justin Schaefer. We only got 2 more picks. Justin Schaefer, the guard out of Georgia. We got us 2 Georgia players with the 6th round picks. Justin Schaefer. Oh, let me go to the first part of the page. Where'd he go? Where's Justin at? Justin, where are you? I don't know where Justin is, and I'm running out of time. I don't know where my Justin Schaefer page is. Anywho, Justin Schaefer is a guard out of UGA. Where's my Justin Schaefer? My first Justin Schaefer sheet. I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. I found it, y'all. Justin Schaefer, guard out of UGA, 6'3", 314 pounds. He run at 5.140. Not bad at all. He had made 15 starts at left guard in 2021 and was 2nd team All-SEC. He got massive build, frame, girth. He's just a big boy, and he engulfs defenders at the point of attack with his massive frame and build and girth. He's rugged, tone setter, and he got a nice demeanor, mean demeanor, so he mean and nasty. That's what we need on the offensive line. We need some more nasty on the offensive line. So I like that rugged tone energy. He's got natural power and play strength to back it up. He's got good length with his hands to deliver jarring force on contact. So he jumps on you, gets his hands on you, he ain't going nowhere if you a defender. And he got a nice base and can take on double team blocks and inside zone and duo concepts. Does a solid job with his angles to line up targets on the move and can block them out once attached. So once he gets his hand on you, takes a good angle, gets to you, and you ain't getting off of him once he gets on you. He stays vigilant when engaged in pass protection to diagnose, peel off, and plug adjacent gaps against loopers. So if a guy's trying to pull and come around the edge a different way, he sees it, he's aware, he got that good awareness, he's smart too, we get smart players. He sees somebody coming, he get there, and he gonna block you. He ain't gonna let you get to our quarterback. And of course, being 6'3", 314, he's a difficult obstacle to work around, and his size and length to press and widen rushers who try to get to the edge. So he has the power in his hands and upper body to stun and bend back rushers when he comes inside. So he gets into them, they try to come in, he says, stops them in their tracks. Now, some negatives real quick. He does have marginal athletic ability because he's so dang big. And let's see, is this still him? Is this continue? Where's my continue? There it is. Also, he's a little sluggish getting out of his stance, so when he go to do his little bicycle kick stand stuff, he's